I'm Kristal Hart, and welcome to the Kristal Hart Show. Back by popular demand, we have Michael S. Prokop. Now, Michael is a consulting psychologist, licensed professional counselor, board-certified PTSD clinician, certified clinical trauma professional. He's also a sports psychologist, author, national speaker. He specializes in grief and trauma therapy, relaxation therapy, anger management, mental toughness, and more. Now, on our last show, we touched on vicarious trauma. We talked also a little bit about the real threat versus the perceived threat. So we are going to expand a little bit more on that subject. We're also going to talk about the safety in your own body. So with this, once again, Michael Prokop. Michael.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be back here. And today we're going to have a new experience. We're going to have an experience in our own body. We're going to actually learn how to notice and feel in our own body what we are actually experiencing, because it all really boils down to is feeling safe in your own body. Trauma is when you feel helpless, immobilized, and fearful for your own safety. So you can see this is a safety issue. Kristal, I'm going to ask you right now, in this very present moment, here and now, do you feel 100% safe?
No, I feel very anxious, actually.
You don't feel 100% safe?
No, I'm worried about everything. I'm worried about the camera, getting this on video. I'm worried about the lighting. I'm worried about my hair. You know, I spent forever trying to do my hair. I think I actually worked too hard at trying to be perfect. I'm hoping that you out there in the audience will like me, and also this is gonna. Well, I'm not so worried about you because you are wonderful, and I've had such great reviews. So no, I'm actually sort of anxious and a little uptight.
So you don't feel 100% safe right here and now in this present moment?
Well, not exactly.
Okay. So can you? Where's the danger? Is it me?
No,
Is it the camera? Is that camera life-threatening?
I think the camera and the audience and all the pressure of trying to also do the technical aspects of this and hoping that everything just turns out perfect for you out there.
So is that a real threat, though? Is that a threat to your real personal safety where you're going to be injured or die in any way?
No.
So that is really...
Maybe my ego.
Okay, and with Zen Buddhism, we leave the ego out. We just be what it is in the present moment. There's nothing to defend, nothing to fight. We are safe here and now. So there is, what you were telling me in so many words, you are safe here and now in the present moment. There is no imminent danger for your own personal safety.
Yes,
So
that's true.
There is no real threat. Perceived threat, the show may not go well, my hair is out of place, things of that nature. But again, no real threat to your own personal safety. So when you feel these body sensations, when you're watching a show on TV and you feel your body tighten up, your body is perceiving that television show or the political news as a real threat to your own personal safety. So we always have to say, is this a real threat or perceived threat? And step back and notice. So very, very important. So you may feel that you're not completely 100% in this present moment, but are you 100% safe in this present moment?
I am
Right
safe
now.
in this. I'm safe. No harm. I don't feel any harm is going to come to me.
Okay, so you are safe in this present moment. There's no danger. There's no imminent danger.
No.
And that's so very, very important, because what happens is we start in our minds going over and over again what could happen. And when we use the word could, it becomes a perceived threat for something that could happen in the present. So it's very, very important to always come back to your present moment. Scan the environment. Am I safe here? Yes. What do you do when there's a real threat? You relax your body and notice your alternatives on how you can protect yourself. What do you do when there's a perceived threat? Relax your body. So the key is to determine if it's a real or perceived threat, but in either situation you're still going to relax your body so you can respond to a situation. There's no danger here, but we misperceive things as perceived threats, even though there's no inherent danger to our person right now. Perceived threat or real threat, you make that determination. You stop, pause, step back, relax your body, and scan the whole environment. So the key is to be vigilant for your own personal safety and not hypervigilant in a tight body with a racing mind. It's hard to live your life in a tight body with a racing mind. Tension resists aliveness. So when you relax your body, you can become more alive again, more relaxed, more alive.
You know, maybe, as you said, staying in the moment. I know sometimes the one that gets me a lot is, oh, there's going to be layoffs. Am I going to get laid off of my job? But then lately I've been just trying to say, I can't prevent it. So, because I start building all these scenarios in my head, and actually, my dad always used to say, well, wait till it really happens.
Mm-hmm. That's right. You're using energy you're burning energy on something that may not even happen. Think of it this way, Kristal. Think of the things that you worried about last year at this time before Corona. Now think how many of those things actually came true. Maybe a few, but not very many. One of my favorite sayings is, I'm an old man and have many worries, most of which have never happened. I'm an old man and have many troubles, most of which have never happened. So we get ahead of ourselves. When we get ahead of ourselves, we feel anxious. Our bodies tighten up. So the key is to be vigilant for your own safety. Scan your environment in a relaxed body. Because when your body relaxes, you have a larger field of vision. You can see things clearer. You can actually scan your whole environment for safety. But when you tighten up, when you're hypervigilant with a tight body, blood pressure up, heart rate up, glucose being pumped into your system, and you're in fight-flight mode for your safety, you actually have narrowing of vision, and you don't see as clearly. So you can miss so many things. So you have to relax your body and scan your environment. And this is Navy SEAL training. They do a lot of work with proper breath work, slowing your system down, extending the exhale, so you can scan your whole environment. So the key is to be vigilant in a relaxed body and not hypervigilant in a tight body. I'll never forget a couple of years ago when I was on tour before the Corona shut me down, because Corona did change our lives. It kind of stuck us. We got locked into very little opportunities, but we have to expand and do things that we can do and have control over. But anyhow, a couple years ago, they flew me into Albany, and I drove to Poughkeepsie, New York, which is probably, 75 miles north of the city, basically. Mm-hmm. So I got into the hotel. It was called the Poughkeepsie Grand Hotel. And Poughkeepsie's a little town, maybe 50, 60,000 people. And I got to the hotel kind of early because I always fly in the day before, then I do an all-day training or a 2-day training at the hotel for therapists, and I work with therapists, counselors. Anyhow, got to the hotel at 4 o'clock, checked in, went to the front desk. I said, it's only 4:15. This is in February. I said, any cool things to see here in Poughkeepsie? And being a small town, she goes, yeah, we have the Hudson River Walk. It's a walkway across the Hudson River. And I go, how far is that? And she goes, oh, it's about a mile from here, the hotel. I said, cool. I said, I've been driving. I think I'll just walk there. I said, is the neighborhood fairly safe? And she goes, yes, it's fairly safe. I said, that's good. And I started thinking after, do you put the word fairly in a question about safely? So I said, well, that's all right. So I walked through the neighborhood. It seemed pretty nice. It wasn't dark or anything, and it seemed relatively safe, and everybody seemed kind of friendly, and I was in a relaxed body. Got to the walkway where you can walk over the Hudson River, and started going on the walkway, and security came and said, well, you have to get off. The bridge, it closes at 5 o'clock. We shut the bridge down at 5 o'clock in the winter. And I'm always trying to help people widen their window of tolerance so they can deal with whatever comes their way and not have a narrow window. So I said, well, can you let me go out for 5 minutes or something? He goes, oh, okay, go ahead and go. And then so I walked out as far as I could. Within 5 minutes, a beautiful, seeing the Hudson River is about 2 miles wide there. And then all of a sudden a car came over the bridge from the opposite direction. Security, you have to get off the bridge. No problem. So we're always staying relaxed. Relax your body, whatever happens, and you can flow with whatever comes along. So anyhow, I'm walking back to the hotel, and all of a sudden it was dark then, and the neighborhood, to me, didn't seem as safe. I said, no problem. I'll be vigilant in a relaxed body. There's no need to get uptight, be hyper responsive to whatever comes my way. So I'm walking back to the hotel in this older neighborhood at night, and 2 guys come toward me. They were about 150 feet from me. And I said, this is what I'm going to be talking about tomorrow. Relax your body, be vigilant. So my thinking brain was online, took a deep breath, relaxed my body, simply walked to the other side of the street and continued up the sidewalk. No problem. So I was staying vigilant in a relaxed body and not hyper-vigilant in a tense body where I could have frozen. And who knows what would have happened after that. So I'm almost back to the hotel, about 3 blocks away. I'm walking up the sidewalk, and I see a fellow coming toward me. And our eyes met. And all of a sudden, he saw me. He stopped and paused. He went to the other side of the road and up the other sidewalk.
Maybe you frightened him.
I said, that's cool. I hope he was vigilant in a relaxed body. So you can ebb and flow with whatever comes your way. But tension resists aliveness and your ability to perceive the whole situation for safety. So what happens when you have a real threat? Relax your body. Perceive threat. Relax your body. Your body will be a signal that you have to relax your body. So when your body tightens up, say, oh, notice that, be with that. I work with a number of athletes and helping them with performance. I've worked with guys at Pro Day for the NFL. And we do a lot of imagery and a lot of body work as well within the relationship, which is very, very powerful. Your relationship with a client or with a friend is a container for safety and a container for neurological change and safety. So the athletes I work with, when I'm with them at Pro Day, we simply make eye contact. For one of the fellows I've been working with, he was working on his 40 times for the combine, which they're not going to actually have this year, and it's going to be not in Indianapolis. It's going to actually be on camera in different sites. So anyhow, the key is, what are these before you run the 40? You may feel some butterflies. What do these butterflies mean before you go on the show, Kristal?
I had some coming over here. And I tried to think of different movie stars that always said, oh, I always have butterflies before a show. But I guess it's sort of an excitement, and also it's not knowing what will happen. And but I try to use it for energy and to I try to find the positive part about it.
Beautiful. Yeah, and the athletes we work with, what these butterflies mean, it's your body preparing to do great things. Rather than when we were little kids, we're playing baseball, maybe the first time you played in a baseball game, you're playing second base, you feel jumpy, edgy, nervous inside. This is your first game as a little leaguer. In the first pitch, the guy hits the ball toward you, and you could feel this lump in your chest and these butterflies even before the game started. And the ball's coming toward you, and all of a sudden, it goes through your legs. And what do you learn from that? These butterflies mean that something bad's going to happen. So we have to reverse that with the people we work with. Just because you feel in your body a little nervousness and tension, that's okay. Just be with it. As we talked about in the last show, it'll ebb and flow. So now these butterflies can mean a signal for a show, for example, or working with athletes, or if you're going in for a job interview. I remember the first show I did in Bridgeport, Connecticut, in terms of trainings. I've been in 118 cities in the last 4 years, and then Corona shut me down. So I felt locked, I felt immobilized. And just being here with you and the show and helping people in any way is a joy. But I'll never forget the first training I did, all-day training for therapists in Bridgeport. I felt these butterflies in my stomach. I said, how's this going to go, as you were just saying? And I said to myself, my body preparing to do great things. Just let it happen. Let it flow. And that's really so very, very important. Your body sensations can be triggers for you to stop and pause and relax. But once you have what's called interoception, which is your ability to notice what's happening in your own body, so many powerful things can happen. You can actually begin to synchronize your own body, your body sensations, with movements and thoughts, so you can actually get into a state of flow. And that's what we do with our athletes. What's that mean? Body's preparing to do great things. We did all the training. Now I'm in total trusting mind.
Trust. You know, when in an acting school, they would always say over at HB that after you've done all the preparation, you need to trust. You need to trust yourself. And with this COVID, which, see, I cover sports basically. So Michael's been a godsend because everything has changed and all the athletes, I cover a lot of boxing. A lot of people know that because they follow my show. But, you know, they're in a bubble now and they don't have any of the auxiliary media because, well, it's difficult because you don't know who might be carrying the COVID, and they don't want the athlete to possibly come down with something right before the big event.
Yeah.
So luckily this summer, as I said, I'm based out of New York. I've traveled down to Ohio. I met Michael at the pool, and we kept saying we're going to do this. And so you've been a real godsend to me, even not only learning so much about calming myself but just to be able to keep the show going and taking a whole 360-degree turn from where the show was to now.
That's right. And what's so, to me, is so heartwarming to be able to help people in so many ways. Just through the show, I've been doing a little volunteer work with some agencies.
And right now, people really need
People
some
need
help.
to just stop and pause, relax their bodies, and reach out to others. That's so very, very important. You need movement. You need rhythm and movement, because when you feel like you're traumatized, you feel stuck, you feel immobilized. And what you have to do is integrate some movement within your day, whether just going for a walk and noticing things, mindfully feeling your feet on the ground as you walk. But you need to get movement again, because you get stuck, because trauma gets stuck at the lowest part of your brain, the brain stem, which involves rhythm, movement, initiation of movement. Because if you can't fight and you can't flee, you get stuck. You feel like you get stuck in a tight body, racing mind, and anxious feelings. So we have to step back and pause, notice what's happening in our body, as I mentioned before. And when you notice what's happening in your own body, it brings you back to the present moment, where we want you to live your life, which is the joy of living, is living within the present moment. And so once you stay in your present moment, you can begin to establish a sense of flow and opening up and just being with whatever happens. So you can actually begin to feel safe within the present moment. Because once you notice that this present moment is safe, there are no real threats there, maybe perceived threats, but no real actual threats to your safety, your personal well-being. So very, very important. Let me just shift back. Have you ever walked into a parking deck or a parking garage and all of a sudden you feel very fearful, uptight, and nervous, Kristal? I think we've all been there. Now, have you actually been attacked in a parking garage?
I haven't.
Okay, but so
But you read about it sometimes that people.
Yeah, you read about it, you may hear stories about it. So again, that's vicarious trauma. It's not a part, it's a part of your past learning history from what you've learned vicariously. You've never actually been attacked in a parking deck. So when you may have these body sensations. What's that mean? Take a deep breath and relax. Scan your environment vigilantly, but don't be uptight, hyper-vigilant, where you have narrowing of vision and you see very little. This happens with athletes when things are prime time important. I remember this must have been 15, 20 years ago when the St. Louis Rams were in the Super Bowl. And I can't remember who they were playing, but they were coming down the field to take the lead near the end of the game. And all of a sudden the quarterback went back to pass the ball, and he threw it right into the arms of the opponent. He never saw him. He saw his receiver.
That hurts.
But he had narrowing of vision so much that he couldn't scan the whole field. So you have to relax your body and notice what's happening and make the play. But it was really sad. Then they moved the Rams out of St. Louis besides, so that was just another slap in the face for the city. But again, calm down, relax your body, be vigilant in a relaxed body and not hyper-vigilant.
Was there
in
an
a tight
activity
body.
maybe we could do?
We can just introduce this, and then in the next show we can continue with this. But what I'd like you to do, I want you to actually begin to identify where you hold tension or stress in your own body. Very, very important. So once you identify it, where that area is, you can simply notice it, and almost just by noticing it, your muscles will relax. Because tightness resists aliveness. So what we're going to do now, just very briefly, and we'll continue this in the next show, is I want you to get an idea of where you are holding tension within your own body. So what I'd like you to do, this is called progressive muscle relaxation. So I'd like you to just put your hand straight out in front of you, okay, and make a fist and really tighten it up. Hold it. Experience all that tension, Kristal. Tighter, 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 tighter. Hold it. Experience that tension. Hold it. Now let go. Let your hand just fall gently in your lap. You may feel a little tingling sensation. Do you notice that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You may feel a little warmth coming back, if it's cold maybe. So what that's happening is that's your body releasing that tightness, that energy that got locked in your body. Because remember, when you have a perceived threat or a real threat, we always say relax your body to keep your thinking brain online. But what happens is when you tighten up, you brace yourself for possible danger. And so often you see people walking around in tight bodies. You can just see the way they hold their bodies, that they're holding in so much tension. So let's just do the other hand and make a fist in the same manner. Tighten it up. Experience all that tension. I'd like everyone in the audience to do this. Really experience that tension. Feel it. Feel your fingernails almost pressing against inside your hand, your wrist tightening up, your forearm, even your shoulder a little bit. Experience that tension. Hold it. Now let go. And just feel the natural release of energy. Feel your hand become relaxed and warm again. Can you feel the difference? So you're learning the difference between tension and relaxation and where you hold it in your own body. We'll do a couple more parts. I have a whole CD that I do on training with this. But I like you now, and a lot of people hold so much tension in their shoulders.
Okay, I have some in my my neck right now.
Your neck. So like you do is push your shoulders up towards your ears as far as they will go. Tighten up your shoulders. Really experience that tension. Hold it. Tighter, tighter. Tighten up your neck. Feel all the tension in your shoulders. Really experience that tension. Experience it. Be with it. Notice it. That's it. Hold it a little longer. Hold it tighter. And now just let go. Oh. Just let go. Just move your head ever so gently from side to side. And notice a natural flow of warmth and energy as your muscles begin to relax. Can you notice that? It feels so good to just be relaxed and alive again in your own body. Yeah, and that's okay. And you can do this throughout the day, tighten and relax. And you're really getting a sense of interoception of your felt sense, where you hold tension in your own body. So very, very powerful. We'll just do a couple other quick things in terms of experiencing tension in our body. One place where we often experience a lot of tension is in our jaw muscles. So what I'd like you to do is grit your teeth without hurting yourself and pull your chin towards your chest as far as it'll go. Grit your teeth and really tighten up your jaw and even the back of your neck. You can actually experience that again. Tighter. Have to experience all the tension. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Now just let go. Let go. Very good. Just move your jaw gently back and forth. Because what you'll find is that your jaw is often the trigger point. When you tighten up your jaw, your shoulders automatically follow and your neck muscles and shoulders follow. So you can actually begin to live in a relaxed body by simply focusing and relaxing your jaw. And how do you do that? You could place your tongue gently behind your front teeth and just let your whole jaw begin to relax. I know I'm going over this rather quickly, and this is part of self-regulation, how you can impact your own physiology and relax your own body through breath work, progressive muscle relaxation. We'll spend more time with this. I did want to get folks a couple things they can do in terms of just tightening and relaxing. And notice the difference between stress, tight body, and relaxed body, calm, smooth flowing. You cannot have trauma in a relaxed body. Tight body, racing mind. Relaxed body, calm, smooth, flowing mind. Nayunanshan. The key is relax your body. Step back and pause, and your mind will follow. You don't fight it, you don't force it. You're not going to fight your way through trauma. You're not going to go over it, around it, or through it. You're going to step back and pause and just be with it in a relaxed body.